Hi, I'm Joe Williams with Noble County Veteran Services. I'd first like to thank the Honorable Justice Stratton, PEGS Foundation, the Ohio Stepping Up Team, the Muskingum Area Mental Health and Recovery Service Board. So, as we've been talking about, a targeted population of individuals who may have mental health issues and are cycling in and out of correctional facilities. So, within that population, there's even a more niche population, and so that's veterans. And so I'm here to speak about veterans who are also cycling in and out of correctional institutions and who have mental health services. Mental health concerns. So we have a long-standing collaborative partnership here in Noble County to help address veterans who are in this situation. So if we have a veteran who finds themselves involved with the justice system, whether it's through probation or in the county jail, we get contacted by the people who have identified them as veterans. And I know the sheriff's office recently has the Squares system where they can identify individuals as veterans. They'll contact us and we screen them for benefits that may be able to help them increase services as far as health care, education benefits, and even monetary benefits to help get them back on the right track. If we have veterans who find themselves actually in jail and waiting sentencing, that'd be the time when we'd speak with the county sheriff, the prosecuting attorney, and eventually the judge to see if it may be appropriate that this veteran could benefit from some inpatient services. And if so, we would reach out to the VA and see if they screen this veteran to see if it's appropriate for them to have inpatient services. On the county's end, the reason why that would be beneficial is that one, the veteran is getting services, but also if the patient is inpatient in a federal VA facility, then the county's not paying for them to be in the local jail. And larger than that, the veteran is getting the services that they need to start putting the pieces of themselves back together, and they can be on the road to recovery. Also, during that process of seeking those mental health services, it could be that the mental health provider can help identify things for the prosecution and the judge to consider, and possibly it could be that their treatment that they did receive, or even future treatment plans, could be the sentencing or shape sentencing, and could reduce some of the jail time that the veteran may actually be facing by getting those services. More recently, we've had kind of a more focused effort, and this was an initiative that was spearheaded by the Ohio Attorney General's office and introduced to us through their office. And so this is the concept of a veterans crisis team. And so this is for individuals who would come across law enforcement and maybe they're not cooperating with law enforcement. And so the concept initially starts with the law enforcement officer wearing some type of pin that identifies them as a veteran. And perhaps the veteran sees that, and that serves to de-escalate the situation. If that doesn't de-escalate the situation, that's where they can initiate the veterans response team. And so the veterans response team is comprised of our office, a deputy from the sheriff's department, and staff from Allwell, which is a mental health service here in the county. And so the collaborative effort of this group could reach out to the veteran and try to de-escalate the situation and help them understand that it's in their best interest to work with law enforcement. But on the back end, what that might look like is we're seeking, as soon as possible, inpatient health services. And so that could be perhaps in local ER if there's not, if it's after hours and VA is not available, but then possibly into VA to include inpatient. And so in those situations, it could be that by seeking those treatments that they don't end up in jail and they don't escalate the situation where they get these additional charges or charges to begin with. We also provide services within the state prison system. So these services are intended to help these veterans reach their fullest potential for reentry and to reduce recidivism when they actually do separate. So as veterans, we understand that it takes some time to get access to VA benefits. Sometimes it can take a significant amount of time to get everything in place to where you can properly access those benefits. So just by the virtue of these veterans being incarcerated, they have time that that we would like to put to good use. And so we've taken upon ourselves to do regularly scheduled services in the state prison system, and it's to work with those veterans to try to use the time that they are incarcerated to go through all the administrative processes to reduce as many barriers as possible while they're incarcerated, so that upon release they can have access to those benefits such as education, healthcare, and monetary benefits to help piece themselves back together. And so that's kind of the crux of the services we do provide out there. We do help manage benefits for veterans who had services and benefits when they were incarcerated, and we try to make sure that their family can still access that while the veteran's incarcerated. So here in a small town, everybody steps up and works together. And so when it comes to veterans, there's nobody that shies away from stepping up or doesn't lean into the cause. And so anybody here in the county wants to collaborate on veterans issues, I'm definitely happy to do that. And if our audience is wider than just Noble County, I'm happy to work with anyone in the state. And also, if you is a bigger state audience, I'd ask you reach out to your county veteran service office and see how they're able to collaborate. Appreciate you guys' time and hope you enjoy the rest of your training.